Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney here. Guys, we really appreciate her taking the time. She's so busy and so calculated that I think I got her to walk into this interview without planning anything, which I'm super excited about. We have Monica Fawn. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Glad to talk to you today, too. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so great. Thank you, Julie, for the connection. We've got to know each other. We've had you on Brain Dump. Now we got you on Construct Your Life. So, You know what's interesting is I've been thinking about this, and I'm like, how should I throw a curveball to Monica? How should I do anything? So you have an interesting story. We have a very similar story, but I'll let you kind of start your story where you want to go, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. Throw a curveball at me. Thank you again. Part of my over planning or wanting to be prepared is this perfectionist side of me. So even as a kid, I was such a perfectionist, and a lot of like my securities come in like being over prepared, having things planned. And even now, being so practiced speaking and doing things I never thought I would be doing, I still have that tendency to want to do that. So you were purposely like, nope, no planning. We're just going to show up. So it's good. It's a really good exercise for me. But I grew up really creatively. So that's where the perfectionistic stuff comes in. I grew up with these artistic tendencies, and that didn't always translate well in school. And all of my friends were very much like the honors, AP, US history, like type of students, straight A's. And I didn't fit in that category. So being perfectionistic in my art and all these other things just really was a trigger and something that I've constantly battled. But now that I know what it is, it's fear, essentially.
And ultimately what's interesting is I was talking to a client the other day, is that, his need, like we're working through the same things. His need to be over prepared is his absolute fear from looking dumb.
Yes.
and so but what happens is because you over prepare so much, you allow yourself to not take action on certain things that you should take action on, because it's, what's interesting, as I meet these people, even if I coach some of them, I met you, it's not that you're not bright. It's not that you don't know what you're doing. It's actually the exact opposite. You do know what you're doing and you're very bright, but yet it's almost like cloudy action taking is kind of, for lack of a better word.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Urgency.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense.
That's a better word for it.
Yeah. I think it's urgency can cloud my clarity. That I've discovered this year is my urgency can cloud that clarity. But yeah, it's the fear. So I used to have a fear of speaking. I took speech class in high school. I have no idea why, and I barely survived it. But I mean, even in class, even throughout high school, like I'd just be deathly afraid of getting up in front of the class. And when this fear gets turned on in us, I don't know if it's that like fight or flight survival thing gets kicked on, your brain starts shutting off a little bit. Like I can't find the right words. So because of the fear and the panic, you are actually creating what you're afraid of. You're creating that situation. You're creating the biochemistry for the fear triggers. So I think another thing that came up in mind with what you said is when I'm showing up, I'm dancing this line of intuition and intentionality. I want to just go in and intuitively, like just the bright ideas come when I can stay calm and I don't have that urgency. But then being intentional, like I'm a very intentional person, and I like to set an intention for what do I want to teach today? What do I want to share? But I like this challenge of just showing up and just doing it intuitively, like 100%.
And ultimately, one of the things I find more is that I think at our core, right? As human beings, especially coaching enough people, I think intuitively we are very, very tapped in, but we don't trust it.
Yes.
That's the difference, right? And I see that a lot in my female clients. They know it, because let me tell you something. If you didn't know this, guys, I'll let you in on a little secret. Women, especially my girlfriend, are very intuitive when it comes to people's personalities, how they're showing up, what their values are. And somewhere along the line, women, and men do this too, I do it too, shy away from that gut feeling, that first feeling, in your core. And don't get me wrong, people can change, but at their core, I think you feel it sometimes. And I think we need to, I think if we operate from more of it, I see this new thing, right? Intuitive coach. And I'm like, oh shit, I love that. Like that little, because it truly is, it's that, what it is? It's the balance. Have you read, this is a Surrender Experiment, Michael Singer?
No, I haven't read that one.
So it's an amazing book, changed my life, but it's the line of surrender and intuitiveness. If you can surrender to your intuitiveness, then I think you could operate from a place of comfort, somewhat.
Yeah. And speaking to intuition, I think it's definitely like this inner knowing. I feel it more like we use that example from the gut or from the heart. But then when our mind, we're so predisposed to this overthinking, overplanning, that's like the fear-based reaction. So when we can quiet that down, we can hear this intuitive thoughts or feelings better. And I think within my business, so we haven't officially done my introduction. So I do branding and I do website design. It's going to come up, of course. So no worries about it. So in branding and website design, when I first started out, I wasn't classically trained in this. I didn't even graduate high school. I have a GED, but with my artistic talents and just my super strategical side of my brain, they were always in conflict whenever I would try to find something. And when I found not just graphic design, because that was just the creative side, but the branding side where we're doing brand strategy, brand coaching along with the website design and the actual design elements. One of the things that I think just launched me into success much quicker was that I really just like hugged and held close my empathy. I feel like I'm a really empathetic person. Is that the word? And when I start talking to clients, I get just as excited or even more excited about their project than they are. Like, even if it's not like a field I know or I'm all that interested in, I feed off their excitement. They feed off of mine. And then I can put myself in their shoes. And I can also try to put myself in the shoes of their clients. So I can help give them suggestions like, what is your client feeling? Or who is your ideal client or your audience feeling when they come to you? So we want to speak specifically to those problems that they're having when we're writing marketing copy. And
we lost her there for a minute, guys. I'm sure she'll be back in just a second. But ultimately, what she's talking about is the empathetic ear to your customers, to what you're serving, to what is in a place where you can connect with the person selling, the person that you're selling to, or your client that you're serving. And ultimately, at the end of the day, whoever you're serving, whoever you are bringing your message to, you need to think of it from a place of what are they hearing and what are they taking in, right? And what I mean by that is when I'm removed from being an alcoholic, 2 years, 8 months, right? And sometimes I can be so far removed from said issue, right? And that I need to put myself in a place where I can go back to where the way I felt when I was an alcoholic. And that's how I serve my clients by tapping into those. But I'm a vamper. I covered it, I jump in. So you were saying to be empathetic in your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understanding where people are coming from. So exactly what you're saying. Because of this empathy, which I think is a close cousin or just the string off of this intuition, it really helps us actually serve people better in our businesses. It helps us to better create things. And once I started doing that for a significant length of time, I started hearing what people were actually saying about their needs are. I've done all the polls that you're supposed to do when you start a business about who's your ideal client and audience and what are their needs. And you're asking these people, they're regurgitating answers in a survey, but doing the actual work with clients, with your audience, with your customers, one-on-one. And when we're paying attention intuitively, we can help serve that individual. But then as a collective, we get this idea. And I think this is something that when we are intentionally paying attention and being intuitive, it's something that I like to call inventional thinking. We come up with a new way to promote our service. We come up with a new service or product entirely when we can really meet people and not overthink. It's like we're overthinking and we're pasting on these people what we think that they're feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, not to mention that you, right. And I think this is super important. You grow every day, right? And ultimately, like you're growing, you're learning, right? But it's the same thing I told a client this morning. You can read a book now, and then you can read a book 6 months from now and it has two different meanings to you because you've grown as a person. So when you're operating from a business or your brand, a brand is ever evolving. But ultimately, the people that are going to sign up and sign up for you and invest in you maybe are at step one. And so you have to kind of transport yourself back to those feelings of how you felt then and serve them from there instead of how far you are removed. I have to serve my clients from, I want to get sober today, not I've been sober for 2.5 years, right? And you get what I'm saying? It's really two different dynamics.
Yeah. And since we're talking a little bit about business and this development side, there's one of the things that has had to happen in order for me to do my best work. And when someone comes to me now, a startup, yeah, this is more difficult, but even someone who's in business 1 or 2 years down the road, I do prefer to take on those projects because honestly, those projects are easier. Someone already knows who they're serving. They know exactly how they do it. But when we're coming in as a startup, even do we do run into this first year or two in business, as things are constantly evolving and shifting, we're essentially trying to determine this like business plan and we're developing the business in one area. So then I can make the thing for the business. If the business doesn't have this clear message within their branding, like the branding is not just the colors and the fonts. Like this is your core message you're offering. Like, I'll get into this actually. It's the psychology, not just the demographics as well of your clients and customers and audience. But when this isn't developed, like what I make for the brand, it isn't going to last at least 5 to 10 years. That's always my goal. But when we're getting in and we're just doing this stuff for the first time, I know this is going to shift and develop. But what can I make now that's going to help them grow into? So we'll talk a lot of just like this forecasting. Where does you want to go when we're creating the brand? Overall, the colors and the logo, that can go with you unless the name of the logo or something is offering one service and you completely change. But one of the things that I found is the client's personal development makes this business development and the branding so much more powerful and clear. And it's like back and forth. It's like your personal development has to match and follow along with the business development. Your personal development can actually push and further the business development. And if you're not personally developed, you're going to hinder and hold back your business, or vice versa as well. If your business is not developed, it's holding you back personally. So I think that's something that people don't anticipate working on when we get into it, but it's really interesting to see how much more amazing that branding and process can be.
And the only reason why they wouldn't see that is because their ego is tied to their business. Right. And ultimately, like, I had Mark England on my podcast, and he was talking about what they're building for Enlifted Coaching. He knows that there's going to come a day where it's bigger than him. Yeah. And he's going to have to step aside because he trained the people so good that they're maybe more talented. It's the same way of saying like Joe Rogan's a great podcaster, but at some point there's going to be somebody that comes along and is better than Joe. And so like, so you have an idea, you have something, right? And then ultimately the idea is framed around, just look at real estate investing. I started out in single family residence. I don't want to do that anymore, but I cut my teeth there. And so like I've changed with my personal development. And what does Jim Rome say? Like your level of income is directly tied to your level of personal development.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And it's the truth. Right. And so if you're creating a growth mindset of 1% better every day, there is no perfectionism. There never will be, because I'm ultimately working towards the best version of myself. And when I walk off this earth, I want to meet that person. And I want to be as close as humanly possible to that version. And then I'll say good game.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That ties into so many different parts of my why as well. But there's something that you said that I hear really often, and it's not necessarily bad to say this or desire this. We always do want to become better. But then when we are so focused on being better than someone, the competition. So one of the underlying messages throughout my brand is that the world teaches us that we need to conform to survive. So a lot of clients come to me and they feel like they have to be something they're not. They have to be this type of person or style or whatever it is for their business success. So they're conforming. Once they're surviving, now they want to thrive and take the business to the next level. Now they feel like they need to compete to succeed. And what that translates to is they feel like they need to be better. And sometimes it's not that we have to be a better speaker, a better podcaster. We just need to be different. And that's what I really try to help my clients with too. They feel like they have the best they have to have the best service. They have to have the best program. Blah, blah. It's like, no, you need to offer something different. And I guess that's where we get into niches and people's obsession with niches as well. But I could go on another rant for that, but I don't know if that's
no, you'll love this. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So Naval said that if you are 100% authentic in who you are, there's no competition because they can't be you.
Yes.
So the only way to operate in a space in business where nobody can touch you is that you're completely 100% you.
Yeah, exactly. When we really tap into our authenticity within the business. Now, I do specialize in personal branding. So this becomes even more like significant and strong. And this is where the personal development absolutely directly ties to the professional development. As a personal brand, as a speaker, an author, a coach, like you are essentially the brand. Now, what about when we make a business that is a product, or we have lots of people under us? Then this company, this brand needs to become its own persona. But I think that persona does need to come and filter and be created from the founders essentially as well. But I love that quote.
It's and I'll find the whole quote for you. It's culture driven. It's culture driven, right? As I consult on business, we're building businesses with a couple clients. Like the CEO might be really, really talented at finding deals, but he's not great with people. So the culture is not going to be built on him. It's going to be built on the COO or the chief marketing officer or the person that's in charge of said thing. And ultimately, when I worked for a billionaire and who was a developer, and I worked for him for many years, everybody at the company was one of the best humans I've ever met, because ultimately it started with him. He was a people person. He was a giver, and he made it known that this is the way that the company's going to operate. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to cut corners. We're going to make sure that we take care of everybody, and we're going to take care of our employees, and we're going to pay more than everybody else. And that breeded people taking personal ownership of their sector within the business. And it's when people try to cut corners, it's when people try to do it the easy way, that it's transactional relationships instead of having a soul within a business. Like it's very interesting, right? As Jay-Z said, everybody's focused on modeling after the results, but they're not modeling the process, right?
Yes.
And look, only because you're you. I have not released that there, but I want to say, I wrote this last night before I went to bed.
Okay.
Like every now and then some things people pop. And I'm just going to say it, guys. It is what it is. Let it fly how it flies.
Yep.
So I said, mindset observation. When people see my stories, getting up early in the morning and my consistency is on point, they ask this question: what time do you go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same one I get every time. Wrong focus, wrong question. The question that you should be asking is, what drives you so deep that in every part of your soul, so much of that makes you show up that way consistently every day for your clients and for yourself? The answer is a deep, burning, almost primal need to impact as many humans as possible before I am dead. Mm-hmm. When I fought my demons for 20 plus years and I was so upset with who I became, you understand why my why is so great. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire, and I'm asking for more every day because it invokes my soul being lit on fire. So instead of asking the fisherman how the fish taste, why don't you ask him how he caught so many?
Yeah. That gave me chills a little bit. And oh my God, there's like so many different sections of that I just want to dig into. But I think that ties so much into your podcast name. Your why is integrated in how you run business, in how you approach, in how you create content, construct your life. This is how it works. But yeah, asking those questions, I think we feel like we have a need to try to justify our failure or struggle in some area. So maybe that's why people are asking what time do you go to bed? They're trying to find
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. And it's the same thing, because I'm on a Naval kick right now. It's the same thing where he's saying, he's like, don't you think that this day and age that hard work is the guarantee? Like, it's something that we don't even have to talk about anymore. It's like people saying, how are you? Well, I'm busy. Yeah, that's a bullshit answer. Stop that. No. Everybody's busy. That's the day and age we're in. So hard work is required already. So what is the actual question that you're asking? Yeah. And so the question, you're 100% correct. They're saying, well, how did you get sober? Well, they don't want to see how the sausage gets made. They just want to see the sausage.
Yeah.
And ultimately, because it's not as sexy, right? And ultimately, conversations like this, proper conversations of proper question asking, of really looking at, and this is what this entire conversation is about, your life and your brand, and understanding that you are your brand. It's as simple as that. I don't care if you have 1 follower or 3. You are your brand. What do you stand for? Who do you do? Like, who are you? Who do you show up as? And ultimately ask yourself this question: what do I really want? Right? We just had Mark and Anthony on Brain Dump, and we were talking about simplicity and how we as a society have created constructs to make our life extremely difficult, because it's almost like we feel like we need to do that. But yet ultimately, we come in a leveraged society now. Over here, you can have clients over there. You could have all these things, and you could live on $2,000 a month. And so why are you making it so difficult for yourself by creating these, I don't know, barriers, I guess, of not being able, like, it's almost like we're false, like self-sabotaging almost to a higher extent, right?
Right.
Basically did that most of my life. So because the toxicity of the struggle is comfort.
Yes, absolutely. And this just, as soon as you're describing this reminds me of my own approach to entrepreneurship. I dove in, I took all these courses. Oh, now I have like 20 extra things to do other than actually doing my business work, to market it, to learn to, I don't even remember, but I've had so many clients come to me who they're like, oh, I need a YouTube channel, and I need a blog, and I need to be on social media, and I need to be doing this. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, let's go back a little bit, because we can't just put in like a couple cents over here and a couple cents over here. I'm like, you don't actually need to be on, I think one of my first clients, I don't even know the names of all these platforms. He was on like 12 different like social media platforms. I was like, okay, reserve your name. But I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I didn't even know that many existed.
Dude, look, guys, I always call on myself.
Yeah.
I was freaking out about YouTube and being on TikTok and all these things. And I realized that when the Facebook algorithm changed, that my views went from 200 down to 10. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to be there. It's not really that big of a deal. LinkedIn, I'm getting views, but no conversion. And it's not really my crowd. They're not really funny. They're kind of serious and kind of boring. and TikTok, I can't stand. And YouTube is a long-term game. So Ruben, my buddy, said, listen, YouTube is your evergreen content. When you have time, you can fix that, but it's still going to live there.
Yeah.
Well, where are you getting 90% of your clients and your traffic? Well, Instagram. So I go all in on Instagram, and I've never been happier to know that that's kind of my thing. And somebody asked me the other day, like, why'd you kind of disappear off LinkedIn? And I'm like, because I was getting 30,000 views, but nobody was commenting or nobody was talking. What's the point? Right. And so I think you have to stand back and you have to say, where is my attention in my business and in my brand? Make the most, I'm on this new kick. What's the domino? Like, what's the domino that's going to get me to here? Right. And then when you get here, then you can create new goals, and then you can keep kind of progressing up that entrepreneurship ladder per se.
Right. Yeah. And I think, thank you so much for sharing that about the numbers, because social media is one of the things I help people with their branding. What I create gets regurgitated and made for social media, but I'm not a social media manager. I'm not a social media content creator. I help people like find their why in this mission, help them get deeply connected to it and to themselves. So we're removing all the things they feel like they have to be. I give them that confidence. We hone in on what are their strengths to use, and then what platforms match their strengths, their personality, and their audience. But most people are just like, oh, here's the audience. Oh, TikTok's going crazy, so I'm going to be on TikTok. But like, is that your style? Is that something that you're going to feel good about showing up for? Because when we're trying to create in a manner that the only goal or outcome is, oh, because I'll get more followers or engagement, that is exactly what we feel like we have to do or be to get success. We can't sustain it in the long haul. If that's not truly us, sets us on fire, deals with our own personal growth, it can be that way. But here's another example of this in the opposite term. I was scared to death of speaking. I hate my voice recorded. I never, ever thought I would like speaking. I like writing, so I'm going to be a blogger. Like, I never thought, I don't like being on video. I don't like speaking, and I don't like video. I could probably still say that now, but now I've fallen in love with it so much. And I only got here because I did it when it didn't feel like it was me. I had to try it on for size. I had to keep going. And it's that you hit that precipice of this cliff of like, okay, I can do this, but I don't want to, or I didn't think I could do this because I was afraid of it, or I just didn't have enough practice at it. So if, like the TikTok example, I don't like making short, weird, crazy videos. That's not my personality. But you know what? I've never tried it long enough to actually say that's not me. We have this little, I'll use the Mr. Potato Head again. We have these pieces for this Mr. Potato Head of what we think our personalities are, and it creates our persona. Persona is what we wear on the outside. Personality are like the pieces inside the potato head. But we have pieces in there that don't belong to us. And so we're trying to wear them, and it feels yucky and it doesn't work. And then there are pieces that are out there that we haven't put inside of us or even tried that can be us. I think we have like multiple potentials, like with an S. Now we have a potential. We have multiple potentials, and until we try it. So within social media, within marketing and branding, let's take like, what are our interests and our natural tendencies? But then I do coach my clients on trying to push the boundary of the comfort zone. Just like you said with the comfort zone, like it is a plague. I do want to find what's them, but not just what is them now, but who could they be? Who do they want to be as well?
More importantly, they don't even know who they could be. Right. And you, as you're coaching and your work, you're kind of peeling back the layers of ultimately, this happens all the time. Yeah. People come to me for one thing, and about 3 months later, we're we're 90 miles the opposite direction. And they go,
Yeah.
I didn't even know I wanted this. You saw something in me that I didn't see in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And boom. And so if that's the case, then don't be so tied to the outcome or who you think you should be, and let life unfold. Because ultimately, if I see something bigger in you, then maybe there is something bigger in you. And at the end of the day, it's pure belief. It's pure speculation. Right. But that's the game. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when people are aggressive or curt, I'll use it for the most professional way I can with their words, right? Yeah. Andy Frisella gets angry sometimes, and I get angry sometimes, and you hear it in my writing. And what you don't understand is two things. One, I am channeling writing to my 17-year-old self. Mm-hmm. So anytime you hear me angry, I'm trying to wake myself up back that long ago. The second thing is he said it today on Instagram. It's because you've been sold a bill of goods that you aren't amazing. Mm-hmm. You've been told by other people that you don't have gifts. You're not letting your music play. And we will not give up until everybody on this planet understands that they will not die with their music inside of them. And I'm sure that's what you do, and it's why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%. Actually, on my background of my computer is my purpose, and I can read it. It's right here. The purpose of my life is to be true to myself, courageous, and creative. But in doing that, in freely expressing myself and having a full life experience, I help lead the way and encourage and inspire others to do the same, to live a life true to ourselves. So not this partial life or a shell of a life that we were meant for. And I think then at that point together, we can create this world where we're truly loved for and loved because of like our differences. And I know it's so fun to get like really connected to someone, like, man, we have all these things in common and we can just like become instant friends. But then what the thing is that I love so much is, even when I was younger, I love listening to going to the library, getting all these different music from different cultures. I like love cultural music. So even before dating my fiance, who's from Mexico, I listened to reggaeton. He's like, why would you listen to that? I'm like, because it's good. And sometimes, honestly, I like not knowing what people are saying. It's just more music with beautiful vocals. It's not like tied up in, oh, I don't like what they're talking about. It's like, I can just enjoy it for what it is. But letting this music die inside of us really triggered me. That was a really good way to put it, essentially, because I think that why are we trying to build these businesses? Why are we trying to build these brands? Why are we trying to build these audiences? And when I start trying to ask that why for my clients, to get deeper into like this copywriting messages, stuff that people are going to emotionally connect to, not this, overly professional, boring thing where people are like instantly tuned out off your website in seconds. We have that 5 to 8 second window to find someone and like connect with them. And they're like, yeah, I want to stay more. If we don't connect with these deeper whys and our own personal music, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? I don't know. Like,
I want to ask you, because I can see it on your face now, and I ask you to feedback from me. Mm-hmm. When you see me on a podcast, we've had a couple podcasts together, and we talked. Do you think that I'm inspired by what I do?
Which part of what you do?
No, but when I talk to you about the business that I want, and like, do you find me like charged up, right?
Yes. So a few times when we first start talking, it's like the normal, ordinary energy of like, oh yeah, I had a good day. Oh, we're doing this, or I just moved. I'm like, oh, I just moved. And then as soon as we start talking, your expression, your eyes, the vibrato vibration, total excitement comes through. This is not curated. It's not fake. It's not forced. It's very natural.
And when that happens in somebody, it's very noticeable and people are attracted to it. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if everybody did that and they were truly tapped into their why, then I would imagine that the world would vibrate in such a love and compassion and duty because you're living your authentic self and you're creating this life that is truly yours instead of the ho hum. I went into my cubicle. I fucking hate my coworkers. I'm in a shitty marriage and all these things, which you and I have been through.
Yes.
And so we know the other side of the coin, right? And so for anybody that is stuck or they don't see a way out, what is your advice to them to even get started?
This one might be slightly regurgitated, but okay. So actually, this ties into something I did think about, not on purpose, but I was just thinking about, okay, now I'm going to be on Austin's Construct Your Life podcast. But I just asked myself, like, what does construct your life mean to me? And this ties into what you just asked me so much. So I think that the first step, and whenever I pictured back, like, when were the moments in my life that I was truly constructing my life? Not just living a life that I think others expected of me or to make ends meet or to survive. When I had those moments, it was actually like demolition because in constructing my life, we're like, oh, we need to find our purpose. We need to create, la, la, la. Like we need to learn this new thing. I would coach or I would have to tell myself again, like, what is it that I need to remove first? What do I need to unbecome first? What is not in alignment? Like, do the demo first before you start adding an addition to the house, before you start constructing a whole new thing, like do some freaking demolition so you don't have the weight on it, but you can't do this construction and this new expansion when you have all of this stuff that is not aligned or correct first.
I've had to blow up my life multiple times, probably 6 to 7, maybe 8. Stick of dynamite, blow that motherfucker to smithereens. When you come back for the shrapnel, pick up what you want, leave the rest, and move on. Now, think about that. There's some fucking freedom to that, too. Yes. Because I'm not so tied to that being my ultimate outcome that my identity stays with it, right? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, what I mean by that is the guy I'm about to get, coaching certification from, he was an amazing Muay Thai fighter and he broke his leg and couldn't be that anymore. And he went into depression for 2 years. Right. And so the question is your identity needs to be tied to who you are as a person, separate from any external business or framework. And so that's when I talk about all the time. It's not, and I might get in trouble for this, but I don't care. The actual act of stopping drinking is really not that hard. But not having an identity because your identity is wrapped up in an alcoholic is the actual thing that scares the fucking shit out of somebody because they're hanging on to that because that's all they know.
Right.
And so it's not the act of not drinking. So here's a prime example. The act of being married for 13 years and not having that. I'm upset about who we were in the marriage and who we weren't anymore. But what I was actually crying about every night for a month was I lost my friend. Those are two separate, totally different things.
Yeah.
And you and your spouse can be your friend, but they also have to be your lover and your partner. Mm-hmm. And if you lose the lover and the partner part, it just becomes a roommate situation.
Yeah. I use that exact same words, but I had a bad roommate. I wasn't even a good roommate. Like I just have a bad roommate right now. Like this is not a marriage. So go ahead.
Well, I want to say something, guys. I say all that to say that she just got engaged.
Oh, yes, I did.
So congratulations.
That was many years ago, I guess, with the divorce, but yeah, over 10 years ago, started that marriage. But yeah, so this time it feels definitely different. That's a whole nother topic. But very excited. And this feels very different than anything else I've experienced in my life. That doesn't mean there's not going to be hardships. I'm not partnering with another person. But Austin, you said something, and I know we're probably getting shorter on time. When you were talking about the identity shift and our ego being attached to, it could be a title in a business or in a relationship or again, it's tying to this psychology of people. So whenever we're working in business, we're all focused on, first off, these demographics, not the psychology of who we're trying to meet with our clients. Like my clients could be a 60-year-old African-American male in New York City. And then my other client could be some college girl, Caucasian in Arizona. But what do they have in common within their psychology, especially for coaching? You're going to have the widest variety. And it's not the demographic, it's the psychology. That's the most apparent type of business that works for. But maybe for a hair color product, okay, now you're looking a little bit more at demographics. But you said another thing too. I had an on and off struggle with smoking. And I tried everything over and over and over again. About when I was 18, I smoked for a while, but it would be like 8 or 9 months of smoking and then 8 or 9 months of not. But when I wasn't smoking, I was still a smoker. Like I still had either the cravings, or when I saw someone smoking, I felt sad I couldn't do that. I was a smoker that just wasn't allowing myself to actually have the act anymore. But I was technically a smoker, whether I was smoking or not, for, oh my gosh, I'll not even 10 years, maybe 10 years. And I had quit multiple times. I'd quit even for over a year, and I still was struggling with that. And I tried the patches, I tried everything, but it came down to the psychology of it. And I recommend this book, I guess, for anyone who's struggling. I think they have a multiple different varieties for eating, for alcohol, for different addictions, but it's called Alan Carr's The Easy Way. I hate that name. The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. It's like, is anyone ever going to buy that book? So they're going to be like, screw you. That is not true. That's bullshit. Anyways, it was all about the psychology of it. And that's where it was, because I knew it wasn't the physical deprivation of it, because a year later, I was still struggling with that. And it was all based around the psychology and this identity. And I read the book, and then I listened to the audio. And after that point, now it's like I can officially identify as a non-smoker. And I'm so grateful. That's one of those like, oh, the past 5 years, the most amazing shifts I made in my life. I almost forget that one, but it is so huge. That was such a detrimental struggle in my life, my energy, my finances, the, relationships, and just, it's an identity shift. So whenever we're going from one area or another, whether it's business and branding, it's personal experiences, I think it's all about the identity shift. So it's unbecoming first. We need to unbecome something in order to make room for something else, or to discover another part of us. But I think, that just ties it right back there again.
All right. Last question.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to Monica before she started her business, that now, this far along in your business?
Man, I would first tell her to clear her calendar for a whole damn day. Okay. So I think this ties easily, actually, this is pretty easy, to what I'm working with my clients now. I could have gotten so much further in my business more quickly if I hadn't had ran down all these different rabbit holes. I think when we're first starting something out, no matter if it's in business, a hobby, a relationship, or you're starting parenting, you're starting investing, whatever it is, when we're starting out, we're learning from other people. We need to learn from other people. We've heard that saying, like, we're standing on someone else's shoulders. It could take us 10 years to learn what this person can teach us in a seminar or a few weeks of coaching, whatever it is. But what happens then is we start getting all of these other, with the social media thing too, we start getting all these other things caked on us of how they've done it, how we should do it. And we haven't fully developed and gotten in touch enough with our own personal strengths. So first, a word of caution: when learning, be really specific about what you want to get out of what this person is teaching you. Don't just like brainwash yourself, digest everything that they're trying to do, especially in a seminar. You might hear 7 different speakers, and it's like you're coming out. You don't even know who you are and what you want to do anymore, because you had great ideas, but then you also had all these things of like, oh, this person's successful, I should model them. Before we model, before we learn, right, specifically, where are you at now? And what do you want to get out of this? Because I'll usually come out with more stuff than I planned on, like the grocery store when you're hungry. And then it's stuff that you shouldn't have like gotten in the first place. So that I would do first. And then honestly, I got super wrapped up in a lot of the marketing things, but personal connections, making personal connections as being introverted, that was one of the most uncomfortable things for me. But instead of trying to do these like mass marketing, paying for ads, like work on the old school kind of maybe stuff a little bit first. Like, I think that would be really good as well. But again, what I really try to coach my clients through is not trying to conform, really focusing on what are your strengths, because we don't know our ordinary is extraordinary. We don't know it because this is our life. We can only see it through this one filter. We think everyone knows this or is doing this. But throughout my first part of my client process, when we have the time and we have the budget to spend, it's not like, oh, I need the website next week because we're launching a property. It's like, okay, well, we can put something up, but can we go back and redo all this? I have several different like personality assessments and exercises that just help people get that clarity. Like you were saying, Austin, we can't see from the outside on our own strengths, what we have to give, what makes us unique, what sets us apart. We can't see that so well. I think it's kind of like we are our own galaxy, but we don't know the shape of our galaxy, but we can observe other people and the shapes of their galaxies. But we have to hear from other people what shape is our galaxy because we can't see it ourselves. It's too big.
Oh, I love it. My buddy Mark says that people are living their life, reading the story of their life with it, with the book up to their nose. He goes, breathe for 2 seconds. Pull it apart 3 feet, and I promise you'll be okay.
Yes.
So you have an amazing podcast. You have other ways for them to follow you. How would they do that?
I like shooting everyone over just to my website. It's onthentic.com. It's spelled onthentic.com. And then on there, you can either email me, you can find my accounts, you can find where all my podcast is and everything. So my own business services and podcast all wrapped up in there now. It's great.
Love it. Guys, if you got some value from this episode, make sure you send it out to your friends, rate us and review us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.